There were really only two videos I wanted to make, or that I wanted to publish on YouTube. I made a few more just to draw attention to the channel, but and the first one I already made it. It's the one about gravity, inertia, and space-time. And because I want this second video to be more professional, more commercial, the information that I'm hoping to convey in that video, I think it's a little bit more important than just talking into a camera. You know, I'm in the process of learning how to edit and how to do all that stuff, how to write a proper script and all. The idea for the second video, and I know how this sounds, the idea for the second video is of the JFK assassination. I know exactly how that sounds. I know that it's been 50 some years, and it's probably the most studied, not probably, it's definitely the most studied murder or assassination of all times. So what could I possibly add to it? I would agree with whoever has those thoughts. I would have agreed with you a few years ago, you know. But a few years ago, on the 50th anniversary, 2013, I think it was in the news, you know, and so I started getting interested in it. I've always been interested, but I started getting more interested. I started studying more seriously the subject. I actually read books, and I just really wanted to answer three questions that I had when the movie came out, when the JFK Oliver Stone movie came out. I came out of that movie, I remember being a little bit devastated, a little bit. I'm one of those goofy people that actually believes in this, you know, democracy, you know, all this crap. And so I remember coming out of the theater a little bit devastated, but I had a few questions that I wanted to answer for myself. And so, and that was back in the early 90s when that movie, I was able to answer those three questions I had, but I developed even more questions, and I was able to find answers to those questions, and I know how that sounds, new evidence of the assassination that no one, not the government, not the Warren Commission, find, which when I saw this, when I found this new evidence, I assure you, nobody had more doubt than me. I kept thinking, why wouldn't this be obvious? Why wouldn't somebody else had seen this years ago, you know, not just 50 years after the fact, after everybody studied it? Why would somebody I have no experience in investigation other than watching movies. I have no experience in anything. And why was I able to find these things that I think are pretty obvious, but have for some reason have been missed by everybody that studied it, right? So I assure you, nobody had more doubt than me. I had to like review it, study it, until I was able to convince myself that it was actual evidence, actually new evidence. I found actual new evidence of the JFK assassination, and I know how that sounds. So anyway, so just to hopefully convince whoever might be watching this that I have actually found new evidence, I'm going to give away a little bit of it, and I'm not going to give away the new evidence. I'm going to keep that to myself until I'm able to make the documentary that I want to make. And like I said, I'm in the process of learning how to make a documentary. So anyway, so I'm going to give away one of the points, which was in the movie, the JFK by Oliver Stone movie, has been in 100 documentaries. They used it as proof of a conspiracy. Hopefully, I'm going to show a few things that hopefully will make more sense to whoever might be watching this, okay? And hopefully this will convince some people that I actually have found new evidence. Okay, so this is the evidence that the evidence surrounding the rifle that does not fit the Warren Commission report. At least at first glance, does not fit the Warren Commission report. The rifle that was found on the 6th floor that conspiracy theorists claim was a decoy rifle The scope was completely out of line, was completely useless. The Warren Commission admits to it, and the Warren Commission ignores that evidence in their explanation of the sequence of events of that day. The Warren Commission and a few other investigations were able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that there were only 3 bullets. I know that other people claim that there were 4 bullets, or shots, I mean, or there were even more than 4, and pretty much scientifically proven that there were only 3 bullets, 3 shots, and most of the witnesses, most of the credible witnesses agree that there were only 3 bullets, 3 shots, I mean, and pretty much all of them agree on the sequence of shots, that there was a shot, a pause, another shot, and then another shot. In other words, that there was a pause between shot 1 and 2, and there was no pause between shot 2 and 3. And one of the points that Oliver Stone made in the movie, and other conspiracy theorists have claimed the same, and it's a good point, is why was the first shot the worst shot? You would expect that to be the best shot, because you would have more time to concentrate, so it should have been your best shot. And why was the second shot better than the first shot, and why was the third shot, the shot that you would expect to be the worst shot, the best shot, the kill shot? The sequence of that does not fit, does not make sense. But here is a scenario that fits the evidence, that explains everything that we know about the rifle, about the sequence of shots, about the pause between shot 1 and 2, and no pause between shot 2 and 3. Okay, so you would expect the first shot to be the best shot, but we know that the scope, the side-mounted scope, was useless. So the assassin would have used the scope and completely missed the car, which is what happened. And it would have taken the assassin a moment to realize that the scope was useless, but because of the scope being a side-mounted scope, it left these native sights of the rifle as a second option. So for the second shot, he would have used the sight, and it would have been a better shot. And having had already a practice shot, the third shot would have been the best shot of all, because he would have known how to align the sights a little bit better. So the same evidence that the movie, Oliver Stone movie, and 100 conspiracy documentaries out there claim proves that the rifle wasn't used, that it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald, actually fits if you take it all together. The reason the first shot, which should have been the best shot, was the worst shot was because the scope was messed up. The reason the second shot was better was because the assassin used, the reason there was a pause between shot 1 and 2 was because the assassin took a moment to realize that the scope was useless, so it would have taken him a moment to adjust to use the sights. And the reason there was no pause between shot 1, 2, and 3 was because he didn't need to adjust. He just needed to realign the sights a little bit better than the second shot, and it would have been his best shot. So anyways, it's the conspiracy theorists are full of stuff like that they just misinterpret, ignore evidence, and both sides are guilty of this. The Warren Commission ignored evidence, the conspiracy theorist Oliver Stone ignored evidence, and I don't ignore any evidence. I know exactly why. My scenario, my long scenario, explains why there was a bullet hole in the windshield. The Warren Commission ignored that evidence. There's plenty of evidence to strongly imply that there was a bullet hole in the windshield. Every evidence throughout that crime scene, I account every evidence, even why the head goes forward and then back. Warren Commission ignored that the head goes back. The conspiracy theorists jumped to the conclusion that there was a bullet, an assassin in the front. That doesn't make sense, but I know why the head goes back. So anyway, so the point of this video is to hopefully convince somebody to help me out with this. You know, somebody that knows how to make documentaries, to help me make a documentary, a serious documentary with new evidence about the JFK assassination. I guess that's it.
And the car was turning the corner, and we heard the first shot. And then two more closer together. Total of 3.
Time, Mr. Norman.
Well, I heard a shot when the motorcade came by. The first shot seemed like the president slumped. Then I heard 2 more shots.
So you heard a total of 3 shots?
Yes, sir.
And there were 3 shots. The second 2 shots were immediate. It was almost as if one were an echo of the other.
And Oswald was at best a medium shot. The scope was defective on it too. I mean, this is the whole essence of the case to me. The guy couldn't do the shooting. Nobody could. And they sold this lemon to the American public.
This Zapruder film is the proof they didn't count on, Lou. We gotta get our hands on it.